Testing 1, 2, 3. Welcome, Keto Rock Stars. This is Rockin' Coach Amy. I'm so sorry. It's my turn to have technical difficulties. Tonight's guest is supposed to be Kelly, a broken carnivore, but it's been a long week. It's been a long week. Let me just start there. I feel like crying right now, but I'm not going to. So I have a laptop that I use for both work and live streaming. And over the last year, it's been randomly restarting. Okay. So I've done everything. I've replaced the RAM on it. I've replaced the hard drive on it. I've torn this computer open so many times in the last year. And I wiped Windows off of it twice this week. And I did all kinds of restores, and I basically wiped the computer down to bare bones, like factory reset it, and it's still crashing. So my guess is the motherboard got fried or some component on it, and I'm done replacing things. So I've ordered a new laptop. It will be here on Tuesday, and I can set everything up to live stream. So I thought I could live stream from my Dell server, but it doesn't have Bluetooth, so I have no way to hear. And Kelly was in the live stream. We were all ready to go, but I couldn't hear him. So I've asked to reschedule with him for October 12th. He's graciously accepted that that invitation. I'm going to go through and say hi to a few people because I can just talk to you without hearing you all. So we have Don. Hi, Don. Welcome. Lynn 22QCat. Here we go, everybody. Here we go. I don't know where we're going or what we're going, but maybe we can just talk about the week that we had. Keto Simple. This is Dustin. Was shopping earlier, and he's listening. Okay, good. You can hear me. At least maybe we can chat tonight. And I just have to apologize to Kelly. I gave it my old college try. Now I know I can't live stream from this desktop, but this will be resolved by Tuesday, hopefully. So Thomas is here. Hey, Thomas. Thomas knows all about the computer issues. He was having computer issues, and I think he's getting a new laptop too. And Dustin says, I heard you. It's been a rough week. And I got to give a shout out to Dustin because we're in this coaching class together, and he spent about 2 hours on the phone today with me, or on a Zoom call with me today, basically going through our homework and doing coaching sessions. So big shout out to Dustin. Lynn 22QCat is here. Hi, Dustin. Hi, Thomas. And Thomas is saying hi. Everyone's saying hi. Amy, you need Linux in your life. Okay, so here's the deal with that. And I kind of was in another live stream this morning talking about this. I have to have Windows on my work computer because the software that we support only runs on Windows. Okay. But what I'm thinking of doing is when I get my new laptop, I'm going to take this computer and install Linux on it. And do a little test to see maybe if it crashes on Linux. If not, this may just be a Linux computer. But yeah, I have to have my main work computer. It has to have Windows. It just does. I can't get a Mac. It's got to be a PC, and I got to have Windows to be able to support the software. And Carrie's telling people hi. Carrie says, did you hear that oxygen and magnesium were dating? OMG. O for oxygen, MG for magnesium. That's hilarious. It should be OMG. Charlie says, hey, Amy, how are the classes going? Met Dr. Barry again last week, and the classes are amazing. So instead of interviewing Kelly tonight, I want to talk a little bit about that. I'm not really gonna go into, like, content, but I can talk about the class in general just because, I'm assuming they don't want me to get real specific. This week, so they said the, classes would be about 3 to 4 hours of classwork every week. This week was probably about 10 to 12 hours, and it was, a lot of a lot of reading, a lot of assignments, and then we had to do 2 assignments with people in our class. So, and of course, it's been a rough week with my computer. A couple of nights I stayed up till 2 or 3 in the morning trying to fix my computer because I can only fix my computer at 5 PM when I'm done working, and then I need it by 8 AM the next day. So anything I would try would take several hours to try to fix. So it's just been a rough week. So trying to get in this very intense week of the PhD classes kind of was very trying for me. And luckily, I wasn't the only one that felt that in the class. Others felt that in the class. So they extended the homework isn't due until next Friday from last week. I think Coach Alyssa got a little excited when she was putting together the class. So they've extended it to next week. So that's helpful. Although Dustin and I spent 2 hours doing the second part of the teammate stuff. So I think after this live stream, I'm going to go in and complete the last assignment from last week. Yes. Lynn, sorry about the problems, Amy. We're here anyway. I work in IT, but sometimes some things just aren't fixable. I sense that there's something on the motherboard that's done. And honestly, I'm just done. I'm done expending my energy trying to fix it. It was worth it for me to just go out and buy a new laptop. So, I'm waiting on that, and I still wanted to try to have this live stream tonight, and I thought I would be able to do a guest, but unfortunately, I'm just not able to. And if you see me looking up, it's because the computer I'm doing the live stream, the monitor is up high. The camera's right here, but the monitor is up high. So I really am interacting. I'm going to try to look at the camera as much as I can, but I do have to look up at the chat. And John is here. Welcome, John. Thank you for joining us. Everyone's saying hi. And Carrie says, Rockin' Coach Amy, I have Zorin OS on my Dell laptop that can't do Windows 11 and it looks like Windows. Zorin, what is Zorin OS? Is that one of the what is Zorin OS? Is that one of the Linux models? I'm gonna write this down because I'm gonna look into that because I'm not totally throwing out this laptop, but I do think I want to install Linux on it. That was something I have thought about. Just to have a Linux machine and see if it still crashes with that on there. If it still crashes with that on there, I know it's not operating system based. So, and Peter, Papa Carnivore is here. Hey, Peter. Dustin Keto Simple. Well, he already, heart for the shout out. Everyone's saying hi. Supposed to get it on Thursday. Well, Thomas, I'm supposed to get mine on Tuesday. And I have probably, I don't know, I have so many programs to install on it. I first have to get it ready for work. I'm going to try to limp along on my broken laptop and my Dell server to be able to work from home, but it's going to be a couple of sketchy days for even that because it reboots it reboots a lot. So you're getting a Mac, right, Thomas? You're getting a Mac. Lynn says, hi, Carrie. Dustin says, it's been a long day. I hope after the stream, it's time for Amy. You got to take care of you. Well, after the stream, and I probably won't stay on too long just because I'm done with computers right now. I'm just done. Dustin and I had a mock coaching session today, which was our assignment, and he heard all of my struggles. Like, just it's insane to stay up 2 or 3 in the morning and try to fix a computer. And then, not getting sleep throws off your progress. It throws off. I was hangry because I was tired. I mean, I didn't eat off plan except for once, a little, and I'll explain that here in a minute. But yeah, I'm probably, Dustin, going to go in and fill out the last homework assignment so I can go to bed with a clean slate, because we're probably getting a new assignment if we haven't already. And now I'm just sad because I take these live streams very seriously. And I got to apologize to Kelly. I think I saw him pop in here. Kelly, I'm so sorry. I just couldn't get it to work. And I thought I had it all working, but whatever it is, I just couldn't hear you. So we'll reschedule that for the second week in October. And it's going to be amazing. Just because you got such a great story. I can't wait to have you on. And Thomas, let's see, next week we are doing the Carnivore Avenger. And I have several of you that have submitted your Carnivore Avenger name. If you would like to get on the wheel to have your Carnivore Avenger name, send me an email to ketorockstars21@gmail.com. Also send me what you want and it doesn't have to be carnivore. It can be keto because not everybody's carnivore, but what you want your Avenger to be. Email that to me no later than, let's say, Sunday at, 4 p.m. Sunday at 4 p.m., that is the 28th. Send it to me no later than 9/28 at 4 p.m. That's Sunday at 4 p.m. so that I can get you on the wheel to do the drawing for the next Carnivore Avenger. So next week's Carnivore Avenger, and then I don't have a calendar up here. Let me see if I can pull this up. The next week, the first Sunday in October, I am interviewing Thomas at Target Prime Rib. So 28th is Carnivore Avenger, and then the 5th is Thomas at Target Prime Rib, and then Kelly is going to be rescheduled for the 12th. So thank you again, Kelly, and I'm very sorry. When telling Papa hi. Evelyn says, hello, Dustin Keto Simple and Thomas Target Prime Rib. And Carrie says, I hear you rocking, Coach Amy. And Evelyn, wah. Okay, so everyone still saying hi. I think we got another joke here from Carrie. Did you hear that Chuck Norris doesn't call wrong numbers? You just pick up the wrong phone. That's funny, Carrie. Still some more hellos. Aw, and Papa says, I'm home finally, outside walking my doggy. I didn't know you had a doggy, Peter. What kind of doggy, and what's his or her name? And here's Kelly. Kelly. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I couldn't get the light. I thought I had it all working. I'm like, no problem. We'll just run it from this other computer. And nope. Thank you for being so gracious, Kelly. And I will send you the new link. I'll get everything changed over. Dustin says, creating a few documents, 2 live calls. What documents are you creating? What calls are you on? And yes, hello, Charlie. Everyone telling Kelly hi. And Dustin says, time to carry in the groceries. Every time someone has a live stream, Dustin is always grocery shopping. Apparently, we all live stream during his grocery shopping time. And Evelyn says, hello, Broken Carnivore. I'm sorry we don't get to hear your story tonight. I am too, Evelyn. My heart is just broken. I am defeated. I am exhausted. Oh, so let me tell you about my cheat. Y'all know I've been doing carnivore for 70 days now. Let me find the exact number of days. I have a little app. I have been doing carnivore for 77 days. I don't know if you can see that, but my carnivore is 77 days. I've been doing keto for 2,547 days. Oh my gosh, it's really storming outside. I don't know if you can hear that. But so here's the deal. We also are huge Notre Dame football fans. And so we threw our first and only tailgate probably yesterday for the Purdue Notre Dame game. And I smoked some pork belly and I smoked some pork butt. And I did put some Redmond's real salt, some pepper, and some Redmond's, what is their organic seasoning on it? But that was it. That was all I used in it. And then my friend made jambalaya and he left the rice out. And I have not really had any spices for 77 days, just to let you know that. But I did want to try some of his jambalaya. So I picked the sausages out, just the meat. There was a little bit of like, I think probably tomatoes, probably green peppers, probably red peppers that were kind of like sticking to the meat. But I just picked out a few pieces of sausage because I wanted to try it. Because, and that was the first time I've had anything spicy or spices or anything in 77 days. So that was my cheat. I didn't really eat the vegetables except for what came out with the sausage. And, it was really just a meat and some spices and whatever was in the seasoning. So that was my cheat. Now, I did notice that I felt hungry when I got home. So even just that little bit of spices, even just a little bit of spices. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call from the nursing home. So it's probably my mother-in-law with dementia. But they're not leaving a message. So I will call her back when we're done here. So yeah, so I did have the sausage that came from with the spices and everything on it. And I did feel hungry later. So I do feel like even just a little bit affected me. But they back on plan, strict. And Lewis is here and he says, meow. And Kelly says, I had computer problems as well. And I ended up getting a new computer back in July. The thing is, so my last computer, 2 computers ago, lasted 12 years. I had the computer. As a matter of fact, it's still here. I actually the hard drive died on it. I want to take the hard drive out of it and smash it into pieces before I dispose of the computer. So I still have, but that computer was an Acer and it lasted 12 years. And then I got this last computer in 2021 when I went back to school. So I feel like this computer that's right in front of me should last longer than 4 or 5 years. But if something goes bad on them, sometimes they just go bad. It's just a thing. So I did order another Acer. I ordered a gaming laptop. It was a little pricier. I mean, this laptop I paid like $900 for 4 or 5 years ago. This new computer got 4 terabyte hard drive in it. It's got 36 gigs of RAM, but I could upgrade it to 64 gigs if I need to. I don't think I will need to. Hopefully not, knock on wood. But for my sanity and because my work requires it and I cannot do a Mac, not for my work computer. And I'm not buying 2 computers. So I have to have a Windows PC for my job. So I bought another Acer gaming computer because the specs on it should be able to handle live streaming, should be able to handle video editing. So last time when I picked out this computer, it was just for my job. This computer I picked out for everything that I'm doing on YouTube. Sherry's here. Hi, Sherry. I hope you're having a good night. And everybody's still saying hi. Yeah, I'm really sad, Kelly, and I apologize. And I am eternally grateful for you being such a good sport about this. I decided to do the live stream to tell everybody what happened. To let them know it was technical difficulties. and I can just talk like this without having to have people talk in my ear. But I do need to be able to hear Kelly in order to interview him so I can ask questions. And Thomas says, motherboard sounds like an alien ship. Carrie says, I had my other Dell laptop that I found out the second RAM module was dead, and then trial and error fixed the computer. Well, we already swapped out the RAM, and I did multiple RAM mem test 84s, 64, whatever that program is. I thoroughly tested the RAM. It's not the RAM. It's not the hard drive. I just put in a brand new hard drive. Uh, oh, thank you, Juliet. And Juliet, I would love to have you on here. So if you would come on my channel, maybe, uh, send me an email, Keto Rockstars. What is my Keto Rockstars 21 at gmail.com? Oh my gosh, my brain hurts so much from dealing with computer issues. And everybody, if you have not, please go check out Juliet's channel. She got to interview Mitch, Carnivore Mitch, and he doesn't do interviews. So she's like rocking it. Go check out Carnivore Coach Edens. And Evelyn, if you can post her if you can post her channel. Sorry, I'm reading Evelyn's next comment. We know you're just rolling your eyes at us. No, I have to look up here because I have a big monitor that I have for my server computer, which I'm live streaming off of just to read the comments. So I'm trying to look directly at you. I'm not rolling my eyes. Okay, so Zorin OS is a Linux distro, and honestly, I haven't installed Linux since 2021 when I took my last IT certification course. I feel like it's not going to be a problem for me. Man, it is really storming out. I will attempt as soon as I get my new laptop. I'm going to get that thing set up, and then my next project will be to install Linux on this laptop that's right in front of me. Yes, everybody, please go check out. Julia is also one of my classmates. And her last interview with CB Carmack. So it's the people that I know in the class are Dustin, Keto Simple, Juliet, Carnivore Coach Edens, and she and CB. Oh my gosh, can you guys hear that? She and CB are also taking Dr. Kiltz's course. So they're doing double courses. I can't even imagine doing double studying right now. Yes, and Thomas saw Juliet's live. And CB is Juliet's story is very interesting. CB's story is incredibly interesting. So if you haven't done that, please go check out Juliet's channel and watch that interview. She is, man, Juliet, you are rocking it. I just got to say that. And I feel like I'm getting wet. I hope there's not a leak in my window here. Okay, I apologize if we lose power. Juliet, you have 300 subscribers already? Carrie says Zorn is a Linux distro that is from Ubuntu 22.04, so you have to work through some bugs. I worked through the bugs with AI. So it's interesting you brought up AI, Carrie, because in the past I have always tried to troubleshoot computer issues just by what I know up here. I also have this CompTIA Guide to IT Technical Support. This is for my class. I have this. Look how thick this is. So this is from the last when I got CompTIA certified in 2021, and from just Googling stuff and looking at YouTube videos. I decided, since I've been using AI so much, that I was going to walk through, because there's a Windows debugger that will provide you with debugging messages. And I'm like, you know what? I wonder what happens if I plug this into chat GPT. So every message that I plugged in, it would give me solutions to work through. Although in the end, none of them worked, but it would tell me what all of the debugging messages were. So, I've been doing that for like a month. I've come to the realization something is just wrong with this computer, and I'm sure there's some diagnostics that I could do on it, but I'm done. It's not, you have to put a price tag on this, your sanity and your time. And honestly, I have so much other things I want to do. I need to focus on my class. I need to focus on, cooking and eating carnivore. I need to focus on my job. You know, there's so many other things that I need to be focusing on. And I talked it over with my husband. I'm like, I'm sorry. I know that I should be able to fix this computer, but sometimes they're just unfixable. So, uh, I just bought another computer. I'm just done. There's a point where you say enough is enough. Nicole McKee is here. Hi, Nicole. Welcome to the live stream. This was supposed to be an interview with Kelly, and I'm having technical difficulties, which is what we're talking about. And so, yeah, so I'm just talking right now, boring everybody with computer talk. And Juliet says, thank you, Thomas. We have fun on our Sunday Night Live. And Juliet, sometime, if you want me to come on with you, I will do that too. I would love to come on your channel. And we can even do it in your time slot on Sundays. And I just won't have a live stream. Although you do have StreamYard. Is it the paid version? In StreamYard, you can stream on other people's channels too. And everyone's saying hi to Nicole. Yes, a Mac attack for a Mac computer. Yes, and make sure you go to, and I pinned it at the top. Make sure you go to Broken Carnivore's channel and support. And he's doing fabulous on his channel. And Charlie says, got to ask questions of a panel of PhD coaches, including Nisha, that generated good answers. How do you get clients to regain trust in their hunger and satiety signals from their bodies? Was that the question you asked? Which, that's a really thought-provoking question, Charlie. Are you in Kiltz's class? By any chance? Because I don't trust my hunger and satiety signals. I don't feel like I have a satiety signal. I feel like I'm a bottomless pit. Now, I definitely feel hunger. Now, I will say this. I've been carnivore for 77 days now, or whatever it said on my little app here. I will say this. The snacking signals, when I first started, I wanted to eat all the time. I now feel less hungry in between meals. So I must be self-regulating that. And Kelly says, it's okay, Amy, no worries. I will get you on the schedule for October. I think that was 12th. I really appreciate that. You're such a good person. And my husband made me into Evelyn in AI. Okay, Papa. I would like my carnivore Avenger name to be T-Bone Titan. Okay, Papa, I will get you on the wheel. Email me your picture. Email me your face. And I'm writing this down. T-Bone, I love that. Okay, email me your picture to ketorockstars21@gmail.com. I'll get you on the wheel. And just so you all know, for the contest, if you don't win 1 month, you're still on the wheel for the next month. And hopefully everybody will get one. And Thomas says, I'm shining my shoes for the interview, Amy. I'm looking forward to it. And Carrie says, cool stuff, Papa, with the dog. I didn't even know you had a dog. Yeah, I like T-Bone Titan. I really do. And Lynn says, sounds like fun. I'll be here the next 2 Sundays. I'm here every Sunday anyway, so I'm just saying. Well, and that's the other reason why I just wanted to do like this other live stream, even though we couldn't get it working with Kelly. We will reschedule, but I just wanted to come on here and just talk to you. It's therapeutic for me, and hopefully you all enjoy, especially with the week that I've had. It's been rough. Does it have to start over again at 1 if you cheated? No. No. And was that really a cheat? Just because I had some meat with some spices and some veggie juice on it? Carrie says, Rockin' Coach Amy, next month on the 21st is 5 years for me on carnivore. Keep up the great work you are doing, Amy. I just cook a small pork belly and cut it into cubes. So that's what I did for the tailgate this weekend. I normally just oven bake them, but I wanted to do something special for the Notre Dame tailgate for my friends. So I smoked the pork belly in the smoker, and then I cut it into cubes, and then I fried it in bacon grease to crisp it up. And then I browned some butter and then dunked it all in butter, like two sticks of butter. Kendra's here. Hi, Kendra. Kendra was my awesome interview from last week, and it was just amazing. And she says, hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I won't likely be able to chat, but here, well, we're glad you're here. Thomas says, if I started over on carnivore, Evelyn, every time I had something not entirely carnivore, this would be my 10 millionth time. LOL. Yes. Yes. And honestly, I kind of do want to, maybe after I hit 90 days, maybe I want to try some cheese, or maybe I want to have a little more spices. And just see how it goes. And maybe once in a while I'll have a keto meal and just see how it goes. Juliet says, I just spoke to Doug. We will move our Doug and Juliet lives to 6:30 every Sunday night. I would never ask you to do that, Juliet. Oh, okay. I would never ask you to do that. I will always shout you out because eventually there's so many of channels popping up that we're going to overlap at times. And I'm okay if you, my viewers, want to go and watch Juliet's channel. I support her 1,000,000%. You can always come back and watch mine on the replay. But that would be awesome, Julia. And maybe we can figure out how to roll your viewers into my viewers. And then that way I can watch your live stream right before my live stream. And we can be the warm up for the big show on it. I wouldn't call this the big show. I am at 399 subscribers. So I'm just teeny tiny. I'm just a baby channel. Juliet might have a newborn channel, and I'm like a 6-month-old channel. I'm still a baby. But that would be awesome. And she says, yeah, we end our live by 7. And maybe we can figure out how to do that thing where Dustin maybe can tell me how to point people to other live streams. Ms. Thomas says, are you catatonic, Lewis, with all your cats? I have 4, but I think he's got like 9. When I grow up, I want to be like Lewis with all the cats. Carrie says, Rockin' Keto Amy, you did good by getting a gaming computer since they are much better. Yeah. I probably should have done a little more research, but I'm kind of in a hurry. I thought about getting one of those Razors, gaming computers, but then I found this Acer, and I'm like, you know what? My last Acer was really good. I could have really replaced the hard drive one more time, but the specs on it, I think it only had 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it was really time after 12 years to get a new computer. So I did not replace the hard drive on it again. Hello, Sherry. And yep, Carrie says then it's the motherboard. I was just trying to tell you about my computers. Yeah, I just got this feeling that it's the motherboard, and once you got something wrong like that, the only thing I didn't do is I didn't replace the heat sink. But the thing is, I was monitoring the heat on the motherboard, and it wasn't outrageous for what it was doing. So, and Julie says, we would love to join you. Yes. So, email me, Julie at ketorockstars21@gmail.com. And if you want to come on, if your husband wants to come on, or we can do your channel, or we can do my channel one week and your channel another week, I would love to do that. Thomas says, yeah, that is rare. And here is Juliet's channel. So please, please, please go subscribe to her if you're not already. Yeah, installing Linux is easy, just like installing Windows. It's not hard. Yeah, the one thing that I thought was a little harder, but it wasn't that hard, was learning the commands. So if you go into Linux and you do like custom commands, but again, probably still in this book that I had when I did it the first time. I don't want to, I do IT stuff all day. I don't want to be doing IT stuff all night either, but I would like to play around with Linux now that I have a spare computer to put it on. Let's see. And Lewis likes Linux Mint. And Carrie says, I tried Linux Mint and my computer crashed. Interesting. Well, and that's another thing I'd be interested in. The other thing I want to do is when I replaced my hard drive, let me see if I can grab this here. I took the 1 terabyte drive and I put it in this. And this is now my backup drive. Now there's a 2 terabyte drive in the bad computer. So I'd almost like to swap the 1 terabyte drive out with the 2 terabyte and use the 2 terabyte as a backup drive now. I know I'm getting techie again. I'm sorry. And Lynn says, Juliet has 300 subscribers now? Dude, it took me like 8 or 9 months to get 300 subscribers. Now I got to pull up her channel. Let me see here. I bet because you interviewed Mitch and he shouted you out. That is so amazing. Way to go. Why does it not? I gotta see. I mean, I've been doing this for a year and I only have 399 subscribers, but I don't have time to go live as much as you all do. I'm trying to find Juliet's channel now. Carnivore Edens. Oh, hold on. At Carnivore, right? Edens? See if I can find this. I have not been able to search for channels. Okay, let me go to my subscribed because I'm subscribed to her. Oh my gosh. YouTube. I gotta see that. I may have to do that later, but oh my gosh. That is. Oh, here we go. Here she is. Okay, here she is. Wait, I just had her. 304 subscribers? Girl. That is crazy. Lynn, let me see if I can get this again. Here's the link for Juliet. It's at Carnivore Coach Edens. Girl, you're doing way better than I am. I mean, okay, so Evelyn posted it above. Yeah, I just showed it. And she says, thank you, Amy and everyone. You are the best. No, you are the best. And your story is so incredible too. Carrie says, Rocking Keto Amy, I'm trying to get my A+ and Security Plus recertified so I don't have to take the test and just recertified. Then I will get the cert for Google since the school uses Google for everything. Yeah. So about that, when I passed the A+ certification test, but I took the Amazon, what is it called? The Amazon server certification, and I failed it. And I blame the college that I was going to because the classes that I took did not prepare you for the certification, and I failed it. I could have gone back and retaken it, but the problem was I was moving on to my next certification, and we were actually doing it as part of a class. So I failed the AWS certification. I failed the entry level one. And I was so mad about that. But you know what? Whatever. I don't need it for my job, and I'm really more passionate about getting into the coaching. I will keep my A+ certification up though, because I do not want to ever have to sit for that test again. and you can just do online recertifications for it. And I'm wondering for coaching, does anybody know for health coaching, do you have to get recertified every few years? I wonder. And Carrie says, I have broken carnivore and just found Juliet. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh, Thomas says, so I just made fresh bone broth from lamb bones. If I was to rub the grease on my head, it would sprout new hair, and would I attract animals to break into my home? You are so funny. Yes, no, keep your live stream. I'm moving mine live to 6:30. Yes, please come on. I'll email and we will work it out. Yes. So I'll come on yours first, and then you and Doug, or if you and Doug can both come on another week, that would be so much fun. Carrie says, that sounds good, Target Prime Rib. He says it was Carrie. And Juliet says, thank you. I appreciate you beyond words. Well, we appreciate you. Carrie says, Target Prime Rib. I made some pork belly and cut them into cubes. Monday, my co-workers will have chicken nuggets for lunch while I have pork belly. Yep. I'm eating pork belly left over from the tailgate. Carrie says, you must have used lots of paper to roll it. Actually, I didn't roll it in paper. And the pork butt instructions I had said to roll the pork butt. I didn't. I just cooked it for like 14 hours. Whoa, Kevin's in the house. Word up. Okay, so for all of you YouTube creators, if you have not checked out Tuber Chat's channel, I attribute Tuber Chat to getting me more subscribers and also watch hours, because they have some really good tips about and Julia, if you're listening, what you should do is you should create a playlist, put all of your videos in it and call it all watch hours playlist. That way people can go and just play your playlist and play your watch hours, because you're going to get the subscribers really quick, but you're not going to get the watch hours. If you create an all watch hours playlist right now, put all your videos in it, and every time you make a video, put it in there. I would be more than happy to go play your playlist and get you some watch hours, and other people can go do that too. Now, when you do that, you have to have the sound on YouTube turned up. You can turn the sound down on your computer, but the sound on the actual video has to be turned on. Okay, Kelly, working on your Avengers name. Email it to me, ketorockstars21@gmail.com. I'm going to do one the first of every month. And again, if you don't get chosen, you'll be on it for next time. And Kelly, send me a picture, a headshot without your hat on, because I think it will skew the AI if you have the hat on. Thomas says, I would rather have the pork belly, Carrie, unless the nuggets were breaded in pork rinds. No, I would rather have the pork belly too. Pork belly is so delicious. Although I will say, I've kind of hit a wall with pork and we have so much left. I think I'm going to end up having to freeze some of it. Hi, Kevin at Tuber Chat. Thank you, Kevin. Share it on Reddit. I'm not on Reddit, but I feel bad every time you say you shared on Reddit, because maybe I should share your streams on Reddit, but I'm not on Reddit. Kevin telling people hi. And Carrie says, Rockin' Coach Amy, I'm not a fan of Windows 11. I'm getting through it since someone gave me the 8th gen Dell laptop and it has a good battery. I can't move the taskbar where I want it. So you like to have your taskbar up on the side and it doesn't let you do that anymore. Yeah. I mean, I have to have Windows 11. I have to have it for my job and for the software that we support. John says, my wife says that you're not boring me talking shop with computers. You're a computer guy too. We were on the live stream earlier, I think. That's so funny. Gonna take a sip. I have, let's see, what is that? Pellegrino in here? Pellegrino and Topo Chico are my new jam. And that's what I drink at the tailgate, Notre Dame tailgate all day yesterday while everyone else was having alcohol. I was drinking my Topo Chico and my Pellegrino. Thomas says, I've overlapped with others a few times. Yeah, and I've had to do live streams on Saturdays when Rick's going live too, because if I do an extra live stream, usually it's going to be on a Saturday. I probably could do Tuesdays or Thursday, but so many other people, have prime time on those days. And Sunday nights are just a good night for me. Plus, it gets the week kicked off on a good note for me. And then Juliet saying, Tuber, Juliet, if you've not subscribed to him, I would do that. And Scratch and Pete PA, one of my Tuber chat friends is here. And Pete, I have to give a shout out for Pete. He bought me a coffee, I think it was last week. And I just want to thank you so much for your support, Pete. You are just awesome. And I met Scratch and Pete PA on Tuber Chat. And that's the other thing that's good about the Tuber Chat community is everybody's super supportive, no matter what niche you're in on YouTube. Everyone there is fantastic. And Carrie says Acer computers are good computers. Yeah. I've had good luck with them. I really like Dell's, but honestly, I've had good luck with Dell's, but the price point, for the Acer was, and it wasn't cheap. It wasn't a cheap computer, and I ended up spending a little more than I wanted to get to 4 terabyte hard drive and the 32 gigabytes of RAM. And so yeah, I've had good luck with Acers. Now the one I have now is an Asus VivoBook 15, and I don't know that I'll buy another Asus. I feel like this should have lasted longer, especially because I know how to upgrade them. Lynn saying hi to Pete. Yeah, 12 years, and honestly, I dropped it once and cracked the screen. Not the screen, but the bezel. And so this old 12-year-old computer, like I still could have put a new hard drive in if I wanted to, but the bezel was cracked and I didn't want to replace it. And I had like these little clips on them to hold it shut, like the binder clips. So I'm like, I'm just going to get a new one. And that's when I got the Asus. Everyone's still saying hi. What? Crazy Taco 55. Hi, Crazy Taco 55. Did you get a new hard drive or a Matter baby? I don't know what that is. And I don't know what that is. Evelyn says it was a joke about you starting over. You were the one that called it a cheat before I knew what it was. That's funny. Evelyn, you're so funny. And Carrie says, I wish I was working in IT. I'm glad I work where I am in the school. Yes. Honestly, I love my job. Don't get me wrong. I love working in IT, and I've switched from support. I've been a programmer. I've been IT support, and now I'm like a technical trainer that onboards and configures software for users. But I'm not going to lie. If there was a way that I could do this, like not YouTube, but do something with the diet and help saving lives full time, I would jump on that. I mean, I have an awesome career. Don't get me wrong, but it's just been like 30 years, maybe 27 years I've been in this industry, and it's just like Sherry says, I have an Acer that still has Windows 7. I don't use it anymore, but it still works. I also have a Dell and HP that my computer shop just gave me for free. Wow, that's cool. Yes, and Julia is kicking butt. I agree. And Gary's in the house, and he just subscribed to Juliet. And I'm going to go back and watch your video. I was trying to start my live stream, and I was having terrible time. But next week's going to be different. I promise. I'm going to have my new laptop all set up and ready to go. And Carrie says when the boogeyman goes to sleep at night, he checks his closet for Chuck Norris. More hellos. Everyone telling people hello. Wow, look at all this. Carrie says that was a smoking joke. Sorry, but what? Look, I'm not firing on all cylinders tonight, Carrie. I'm just not. You know, as a matter of fact, don't tell Dr. Barry, but I have to mention something. So our classes are at noon on Fridays. It was the night I stayed up till 3 a.m. trying to fix this stupid laptop. And so by the time I got to the 8 p.m. live stream, I'm like, I'm just going to lay on the couch and watch this from the couch. Well, and I'm not knocking this. There's all different levels of tech savvy people in the class. But how we are doing things, it requires technology. For example, we had to create Google Sheets or Google Forms for client intake forms. And there are some people, their tech level is not, they don't know how to get into Google Forms. And so a lot of the stuff they were covering Friday at 8 p.m. was stuff I already knew. And I'm not knocking anybody else, but running on that little sleep, and it worked a full day Friday and then getting ready for the tailgate on Saturday, and then the class starts. And I'm like, I'm just going to sit on the couch. When they got into the stuff like about Google Forms and Google Sheets, I fell asleep during the live stream on the couch. I fell asleep. And Dustin mentioned that he was like, so Dustin and I like pass notes in class. We'll message each other and like Facebook Messenger while the live stream's going on, while the class is going on. And Dustin's like, I feel like we're passing notes in class. I'm like, yeah, this really is the new way of passing notes in class. And then he said, all of a sudden you just stopped responding to me. He's like, I thought you were mad at me. And I'm like, no, I fell asleep. So Dustin was chatting me and I fell asleep during the class. And here's Tuber Chats. Uh here's Tuber Chats link. And Thomas, can you help me? Yes, Thomas. Go subscribe to Tuber Chats channel. He goes live for 3 hours and he talks about, this is a great question. Gary asked Peter, did you break any sales records this weekend? How's the new job going? Did you sell anything? Did you sell, is it bougie furniture, right? And Sherry got it. Sherry's on top of it. Oh, Peter just had a ribeye steak and 2 heart attack chicken drumsticks with lots of cold butter. That is so awesome. Okay, I gotta blow my nose. Sorry for doing that on screen, but, and Aaron's here. Hi, Aaron. I gotta ask Aaron, have you been doing live streams in the mornings anymore since Mitch changed his time? Just curious, because I used to like to listen to you while I was getting in and out of the shower and getting ready for work, and then I would listen to Mitch at 8:30, but he's on at the same time you are now, or you were. Everyone's still saying hello. Whoa. Peter had his best day so far, $7,200. And I'm assuming you're commission based. And yeah, we want to know what you sold. Carrie says, no, the food at school is okay. So you work at a school, right? Can you, do you get free lunch, or can you take, now that you have income, can you take your lunch in? Or I don't know what shifts you work, but maybe you can fast for the day and then eat one big meal when you get home. That would be another option. And Gary says, awesome, Peter, and you're just getting started. I know. But Have you guys ever listened to Peter? Like, listen to him talk? I feel like he could sell a rock to somebody. Like he's that good of a talker. Like, oh, you sold a bunch of furniture and a mattress. He's Peter. Peter, you make a good salesperson. I'm the worst salesperson. As a matter of fact, they tried to hire me into sales because I am a good talker, right? But my problem was when it comes to IT and tech stuff, I'm going to tell them what's wrong with the stuff. And as a salesperson, you can't point out the things that are wrong. Yeah, congratulations, Papa. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm still learning. Only fifth day of selling. But you were in sales before at Macy's, right? Was that a sales job? Peter, I feel like you were made for sales. Fifth, yep. And then more hellos. Carrie says, my Dell desktop, I have Ubuntu on it and I have to troubleshoot it since the metal coil is messed up with the button to push it to boot. It works well. And the server that I have here, it was actually a motherboard that I got from my old job 10 years ago. I've been with my current company 10 years. So this is probably 15 or 20 years old, but it's a Dell server that came from a business. And I put it in a case with fans, and I have like 2 or 3 8 terabyte hard drives in it. It basically acts, what I'm streaming from right now is 20 years old, probably. Uh, but it's actually a server, a Dell server that was used for a payroll company. So yeah, and it runs great. And actually I got to think about what I'm going to do with it. I have a script to, because obviously it doesn't have TPM, so I can't put Windows 11 on it. People have told me to turn it into a Linux box, but there's one piece of software that doesn't run on Linux that I run on this to record shows. It's my DVR server. So I built a DVR server for movies and TV shows. So with that being said, I have a script to put Windows 11 on it that bypasses all of that stuff. And my dad's an IT geek too. He's not in here tonight, but he's the one who found the script. So I may try to run that first. Anywho, everyone's still saying hello. And Thomas says, I try to do mine on Tuesdays and Saturdays. What times do you do your live streams? Is it the same? Papa, my email address is scrolling across the bottom of the screen in pink. KetoRockstars21@gmail.com. And I know you want to email me your photo and email me that. What was the name? The name of your Avenger. Yes, email me some photos and the name of your Avenger. Woohoo! Rick is here. So Rick, the theme of this live stream is I'm a failure. I'm not really a failure, but my computer's a failure. I was supposed to be interviewing Kelly and I can't hear anything. So I'm just talking. But welcome, Quack Quack. Rick is here. Man, this is blowing up. I didn't even have to. Yep. Papa Carnivore just sent you an email. Awesome. I will look for that after the live stream. And Carrie says, I save lives every 2 weeks donating 3 bags of platelets. That's awesome. I actually had to stop. I don't know if you can see this bruise. Probably not. I have a bruise here. Right here. Right there. Can you see that? I had to stop donating blood because I'm O positive, and that's a very that's the universal donor. But my veins collapse. They blow my veins so bad. And this is from getting my CT scan done. They had to inject the dye in me. And they blew veins on this arm. And then they blew veins on this arm. And so everyone's like, what's going on? Did you get beat up? I'm like, no. So I had to stop donating blood because my veins are terrible. And I've had so many surgeries. If you've seen my story, you know, I'm like, I need to save my veins for when I need them. And Thomas is already subscribed. Got it. Thanks, Thomas. And Carrie says, I can take my lunch in during the school when kids are in. We get free lunch. They are heavy in carbs. I could do that. I get home at 11 p.m. So, yeah, you work 2:30 to 11. I would take my lunch in, or I would eat before I went, and, and maybe take a snack of like hard-boiled eggs and bacon or something, maybe. Yeah, congrats, Papa. And then Thomas says, my last job before this one was selling furniture. Interesting. Yeah, that is cool for an old server. I'm sure you could use it as an NAS. I could. I don't have it set up as an NAS. Um, I use Backblaze, and all my stuff gets backed up to Backblaze. And then if something dies, I just order. They'll ship me a hard drive. I buy a new one and copy it back over. And that has happened. I've lost hard drives. Hard drives are not meant forever. Keep that in mind. Hard drives are not meant forever. So always back up stuff that's important to you. But I believe would be better than me for sure. I don't know. Okay, so 4 p.m. Eastern for Thursdays or Saturdays. And Sherry says, I'm still using my laser printer from the 90s that we used to print our checks at work. One of the feeders stopped working and boss was going to throw it away. I took it and it still works great. I'll be excited if I can get this other laptop to run Linux. And Rick has the junkiest computers. No, right now, Rick, I have the junkiest computers because I can't even live stream from them. At least you can live stream. Well, I can live stream. I just can't hear people like Kelly. Peter says, I have 5 eggs with 4 strips of thick sliced bacon for my first meal. I love that. And Peter, I've been doing the bougie fatty deluxe coffee, but I've been waiting till noon during the week just because I'm trying to fast, and that's just a lot of calories and fat and stuff for fasting. So I have black coffee for my first half a pot, and the second half a pot I have the fatty deluxe. Yep, computer option divide for sure. And Carrie says, Rockin' Coach Amy, I've done that, taking boiled eggs in and other carnivore eats, and I get looked at like I'm from Mars. You know what? I do too. My one of my coworkers, I probably shouldn't talk about this too much because my boss might watch, but I have one coworker, and we've just decided, and I love this person, right? It's a she, but she thinks that less meat and more veggies is healthier. And in fiber, she stresses fiber. Well, we all know fiber isn't necessary in a diet. It just isn't. It's gonna make you poop more. And I know they all look at me at we had so they look at me like, I got 3 heads or something. And we have a boot camp where customers pay to fly in or drive in, and then we do a 2-day intensive teaching class of our software. And we take turns going out to lunch with, you know, the people in the class. And it was so wild because I did not know the person that I was going to be sitting next to was gluten-free. Now, they weren't keto or carnivore, but they were gluten-free. So I really hit it off with this customer. Of course, we went out, and this is like right when I started carnivore. So I ordered a hamburger patty and bacon, and they still brought me like lettuce and tomato and stuff, and I just kicked that off to the side, and that's all I ate. And I really bonded with this, customer of mine because he was gluten free. So we were talking about all the allergies and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool. And Carrie says, I have a lot of stuff on external hard drives. Me too. I have too much stuff. And honestly, I probably should clean up some of these shows and movies I'm not watching because since I really got onto YouTube, I haven't been watching very much TV. Okay, so 4 p.m. for Tuesday and Saturday. Yeah, if I go live on Saturdays, which I try not to because Rick's live, I try to make it like later, no earlier than 10 a.m., 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. Just because I'd like to give Rick the courtesy of having a long live stream. But I don't do it every time. It's just I work. I have a full-time job, so Sunday nights and Saturday mornings usually are the best time for me. And Kelly says I've been in the maintenance trades for 25 years, will be 15 years with the current employer, Mills Properties, where I'm maintenance supervisor. That is awesome, Kelly. That was one of the things I was going to ask you a question about tonight, so I can't wait to have that conversation with you. John says computer option, wipe Windows 11, set up 2 partitions. Then download Windows in one partition, then Linux in the other, dual boot. You have them both worlds on one laptop. And for my new computer, John, I got a 4 terabyte hard drive. So technically, I could set up 2 partitions and give 2 terabytes and 2 terabytes. That would be kind of neat. For sure. I don't think I'm going to leave Windows on this janky computer though, because it crashes all the time. And Thomas says, Peter, I found a picture of you on Google when you were heavier and had your old job. You look so different. He does. Even the picture he uses in the live stream as his, profile picture, you can tell he was heavier there. And Juliet says, oh boy, mandatory family Dexter night. See you soon. Bye, Juliet. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, I'm going to end this soon. What time did I get started? 7? Well, 7:30. Videos and shows take up a lot of space. You would get lots of space back. Yeah. And everyone saying bye. I try to limit my live streams. You do awesome, Rick. You can talk for hours and hours. And Sherry says, for me, Amy, that is best. More veggie with some meat. We are all wired different. And that is so true. What works for me might not work for Sherry. And what works for Sherry might not work for me. My point was, I think Carrie's point was, our coworkers sometimes look at us funny. And Sherry, maybe your coworkers look at you funny. I think that people who eat more meat and less veggies, we're going against what doctors, mainstream media are telling us to do. But you're doing what I think everyone recommends. And if that works for you, I support that, Sherry. 100,000%. And I even have friends that are vegan and they seem to do okay. I mean, I'm not gonna at least, you know, at least people who are cognizant of what they're eating and trying to do a healthier way of eating, that they're cutting out some of the processed foods and crap. And Peter says, Thomas, was I wearing a suit and tie? Yes, you were, Peter. Oh, you worked at insurance? What did you do it? So my current industry is in insurance. I work at an insurance software development company. That's what I do. Peter worked at New York Life Insurance Company. So you sold life insurance 2011 through 2012. Rick says I talk too much. I talk too much, but I don't talk near as much as Rick does. Yes, you do, Rick, but so do I, Peter says. Good night, John. Thanks for stopping in. We're glad you were here. Peter says, Rick, I had a heart attack drumsticks with half ribeye for dinner tonight. Cindy's here. Hi, Cindy. And Aaron says, bye, John. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? Oh, here I am. Okay, everyone's saying hi, bye. And Sherry says, no coworkers. I'm too old for that. LOL. Back at my last job when I worked, my boss did Jenny Craig. I ate the same way I do now. So see, it must be working for you. You feel amazing. You look amazing. Don't change a thing. Thomas says, just send it to you, Peter. Do you have Peter's email? I don't have Peter's email. But I will have Peter's email when he emails me his photo. Sorry. And Rick says it's a rare occasion when I can afford steak. Rick, I still need your picture too so I can do your Carnivore Avenger. And I know you have one because you're sending one to Cindy for your live stream. So you could just send that my way too. And Cindy, I got you added on the wheel for this week. Papa, yeah, that's it. Evelyn telling Cindy, same here, no boss. I'm old boss. I'm jealous. Okay, hello, Rick. Is that the end? Oh wait, hold on. Speak about photos. Waiting on his pick. Yeah, Cindy, I've been waiting on Rick's pick for like over a month because to do his Carnivore Avenger because we all know what that's going to be. It's going to be Duckman. Thomas says, I have yours to Amy. I have yours to Amy. What? What am I missing? You sent his picture to me? Hold on, let me see. Ooh, oh wait, I just got an email. Look at that. Wow. Way to go. Peter looks good. Ooh, okay. Hold on. We got some more information. I just got Peter's pictures so I can put him on the wheel for the Carnivore Avenger. And Rick says, I'm hoping to have my picks by tomorrow. Okay, send them to Cindy first and then send it to me. And Thomas says, I'm my own boss, but I never listen to myself. Oh, I have your email as well. Yes, you do. We email regularly. Oh, you guys are just flying in. Okay. So I got to get that wheel ready for next week. Got to get the wheel ready for next week. I got Cindy DeManch on there. I'm going to add Papa on there. Please email me no later than Sunday at 4 p.m. if you want to get on the wheel. It's time to have fun. And, you know, that's the thing. This doesn't all have to be serious science, right? We can do fun things. I don't even remember how I got on that AI junk, but it's fun. It's fun creating Avengers. Gives me something to do that's lighthearted. It's not all doom and gloom. And Carrie says, that's funny, Thomas. And Sherry says, I was 95% veggie, but now because of y'all, I do eat more meat. I would say 80-20 now. I don't see that changing. And you know what? That's okay. Sherry, you do you. We're just glad you're here in the community. And you know what? If you feel good eating a little more meat, then continue to do that. Thomas says, can I enter? No, Thomas, you've already got one. You got to give, I know you're just messing with me, but you got to give other people a chance. Cindy says, any one of my subs that want to be in the giveaways need to comment. Oh, I got to go and comment. Okay, so what am I supposed to say again, Cindy? I forget. I already forgot. I know you got to comment and you got to say a special word, and I forgot what that word was. You know what? I'll just look at the comments and see what everybody else is posting. That's funny. Oh, also, when you send me your emails about your Avenger, and if you want a specific color in your suit or something like that, or weapon, you put that under too. Oh, yeah. Okay. And Cindy says, went to a fair today, met a 73-year-old lady that has been carnivore for 1 year. Is that crazy? Like, people are jumping out of the woodworks. I found out one of my high school classmates, actually, two of my high school classmates are carnivore. And Cindy says, hail raisers. I got to post hail raisers. Okay. I'll do that right after this. This is Cindy's channel. Thomas says, how about Milton or Rocky? Can they enter? Rocky. Whose pet is Rocky? Is that Peter's pet? Is Rocky Peter's pet? No, only humans, please. And Rick says, I'm amazed anyone concerns themselves with my problems. Well, you know what, Rick? We're family. Whether you like it or not, you're stuck with us and we care about you. Hail Razors or Hail Hazers. Zinny Demanch. Uh, uh, this is fun. The video to win, comment Hail Razors, please watch. And there's the video. And Sherry says, yes, for you don't look 69 years old, Sherry. You're very healthy, no meds of any kind, never needed them. I do battle the psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis, but I've had that since I was 21. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully, you're able to manage that. Oh, Rocky is Aaron's daughter. That's right. Oh my gosh. She's going to block me. Oh my gosh. I forgot. Well, you said Milton, so I thought it was just another pet. Great place to be stuck in. It really is. And you were the first family member, Rick. You're like, well, I can't say Papa because Peter's Papa, but you're like I just keep calling you the OG carnivore. Yes, you are great, Sherry, and we appreciate you. We're so glad that even though you don't eat 100% like we do, we're so glad you're in the community. And Evelyn says that too. I am so glad you're part of the community too, Sherry. And you're doing great. And Thomas says, yes, Milton is Rick's child. Yeah, me too, Sherry. Cindy says, totally agree with Evelyn. We are so blessed to have you here. Even though, you have to listen to us rant about eating meat and keto, and you do you. If it's working for you, you stick with that. That's great. We support you. And Gary says, Thomas needs a kitty for a sidekick. His name could be Oju. Prime Rib and Oju. Do it. Do it. Get a kitty. Rick says it's strange how the big time carnivores avoid me. Well, Rick, the big time carnivores don't even know I'm alive. So it's okay. I like the small channels. He's the crazy uncle. Yes. Rick, well, we have Papa Peter. You're the crazy uncle. I'm going to start calling you Uncle Rick. Even though I'm not that much younger than you. Sherry says, I stay because you all make me feel welcome, even though I eat so differently. I love you all too. We love you, girl. And, we got your back. He said, I thought maybe he was talking about Rocky. I think he meant to say Balboa. No pets for me right now, Thomas says. But if you do, you get Oju. Yes. I have been called the crazy uncle many times. I'm the crazy aunt, so I don't care about that. And yes, Carrie, get your photo so you have puns as superpower. Yes. Puns instead of tons. Send me your photo and your name. I'll get you in the wheel. Which I got to do that. All right, guys. Am I caught up? Oh, people are still chatting. This thing is slow. It's delayed. I see stuff popping up on the screen, but it's not. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're here. Cindy says, did you all see Dave's Mac video that came out today? I did not. And I still need to go back and watch yours, Cindy. It's been on my things to do, but I've been battling this computer issue. And Evelyn says, my husband's brother's older than his own uncle. It's possible. My friend that I grew up with down the street, her uncle was younger than her. It was wild. So it does happen. That's for sure. And Thomas says, me too, Rick. And yes, you are, Sherry. You are the dog lady. And you are the person. And you gave me some great advice when my cat got out a few weeks ago. So thank you for that. You're a great expert in animals. And Carrie says, if I could have pets, I would be a cat. The last cat was a Manx. So you really had a Manx? today's video today was oh, about his story. I got to check that out too. Yes. All right, guys. It's 8:44. I have to finish up my homework. That Dustin and I did, and then I got to go put the wheel of Avengers. Make sure I get that updated. I just want to say thank you all for showing up for me, even though I'm having technical difficulties, and I just want to extend my further apologies to Kelly about not being able to bring him on. But we are going to reschedule that for October 12th, and I will get Kelly on again when my new laptop's set up. Next Sunday is Carnivore Avengers and more chat. We're going to pick the next superhero, and then the following week is Thomas Target Prime Web, and then we are going to reschedule Kelly the week after that. So I'm going to, with that, say good night, everybody, and thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you hanging out for this time. Love you all. Have a good night.